Hey guys, welcome back. We have a new Danger Close boss, Soprano. This boss is not friendly. And not only does she have no type, so Shadow Hall gear and most Mage gear doesn't really work, she also has ridiculously high stats. 2.5 mil HP, 4.4k defense, and 18k attack. At the moment, she's not very free to play friendly. Honestly, the best gear for her is T7 Brita with range damage, attack, or crit damage latents. Other than that, Maze gear with crit damage subs. So basically, this boss is for Wells, the Lucky, or the mentally insane. I mean, who rolls Maze gear to crit damage subs? Luckily, B-side has lowered the requirements for minimum rewards. Now only at 4k, you can easily clear normal and get around 5k, which will get you the minimum rewards. For those that want a higher score than that, I have a few auto teams that work on 0% and can get you around 8k plus. So let's get into them. Team order and gear will be shown after the clears. The first team here is an attack speed down team. We plan to abuse this maliciously. Where the boss is immune to skill seal and skill pushback, she is not immune to any other debuffs and her animations are really long. Her melee attack is 8 meters and has 3 valid hits. Most awakened defenders can fully tank that for your team, but Hilde, while she has a shield, is unable to get knocked back by her special. The boss's special will knock back your entire team and then put them to sleep. With the help of Kim Hana, we can wake them up once, but Mika Star can also be used here to do that. If there's no one in 8 meters of the boss, she will start to AoE the whole field, which will kill your team. So having a tank that can't be knocked back is really helpful. Laura, Astake, Gayun, and Roy all have attack speed down debuff. Also, since the boss cannot really hit the ship, you can use Stellar, which the S2 has a 15-second attack speed down. And since she's also a CO, or Corrupted Object, Lonely's Death Break will hit the boss for 40%, which really helps speed this up. Now, the boss starts with her ulti, but she won't use it until she's under 60% HP. If the ulti hits strikers or defenders 5 times, it will confuse them, and they will start attacking your team. And having an A-Hilde run at your team during this fight is really dangerous. The reason why we're trying to stack so much attack speed down is because we can avoid having our units stolen by having the debuff that stacks fall off before it can actually stack to 5. Roy's helpful here in the fact that he can also sit there and put damage amp debuff on the boss, so it also helps speed this clear up a little bit. Fortunately, we got a little unlucky here, everybody getting knocked back and put to sleep. But we clear it at 8 seconds, get an 8.2k score. So I'm going to go over the gear here briefly. Warden's taking MVP in this fight. So A-Hilde doesn't need much ground res at 110. As we'll see here, I go full CDR on her. With only 16% ground res and full CDR, she gets a lot of shields. Some tank CDR gear for Laura. Sinjia also on CDR. I have a Stake on attack speed so that he can keep his debuff up on the boss at all times. Roy on just some basic tank gear. I have Wardens on attack speed gear here, but any damage gear will work. Gayun is on attack speed, so because it's her passive that applies a debuff. And then Lonely on CDR gear, so she can death break as much as possible. So for the second team here, I use some of the same elements from the first team. I have Overflow, which he can't be knocked back. Estake and Laura for the slows. They're not really needed for the boss's ult here, but they're nice to have for keeping Overflow in your front line alive longer. The reason why we don't have to worry about our front line being stolen is because of Kurian, who makes soldiers immune to being confused, which is no coincidence why I'm running full soldier front line. Kyrian and Wardens are up this DC, so both do really good damage to the boss and are honestly a great combo together DPS wise. Every time Kyrian specials, it'll cause your Wardens to use their passive, which is a guaranteed crit on the boss. Kim Hana Proc isn't used here because I really couldn't find a ranger that worked well with this team, but maybe Gayun instead of Estake. Overall, both clears, they use some good gear, and we're cutting it close. But honestly, if you find this boss difficult, I wouldn't worry about it too much. This boss really isn't worth investing into, in my opinion. B-Side made this boss ridiculously difficult, and I'm assuming because we've been making the rest of the bosses a joke. So they wanted to give us something more challenging, is my assumption. Or they just wanted a reason for us to start using Awakens in the DC bosses. Clearing it at 24 seconds, getting an 8.6k score. You could probably add more mods to this, and it'd probably do well. HP mods maybe. Boss attack up. Play around with it a bit. So here's the team and the gear I used for this clear. Of course, you know, collect your daily rewards. But Overflow I have on attack speed gear, but HP is probably better. I actually don't have good soldier tank gear, so that's why he's on attack speed. He has built-in crit, so none really needed on the gear. Laura's on crit damage. Estake's on a tank attack speed. I got tired of him dying, so I put him on that, and it seems to keep him alive. Sinjia on basic CDR gear. Shieldman is on HP. My Kyrian is going to be on full T7 Brita, and it's actually pretty good gear, you'll see here in a second. Wardens is again on just damage gear. And then for this I went CDR tank gear on Lonely, just so she survived longer. But I hope this video helps. If it does, then if you could put your scores in the comments. I'll try to make a video on the different comps I use this DC next week, so look forward to that, and I will see you guys next time.